Here we go. 10-second countdown. Match 4, week 4. Bushy got a haircut, looking extra crisp today.
He's looking clean.
Hero's Grave as our center square. Very interesting.
I love to see this as the center square. It means, I mean, it's a hard one to rush, so that means they're going to have to be going for some of these lines that don't coincide with the center square, at least right away.
Yeah.
Or they're going to have to plan on getting the center square later on.
This is very interesting. Lots of semi-early stuff you can grab here. Agheel +0, Dupe of Remembrance, Kill a Boss on Torrent, Godric's Great Rune, Soldier of Godric, Bare Fist only. In Nefeli Lu with Godric. In this case, the same row as Godric's Great Rune. That's going to be something I think really contested.
Row 2 synergy there.
Absolutely. Yeah, look at the duping into Godric's Great Rune and Godric. That's
we may see a lot. Immediate Godric kill with Nefeli Lu, immediate rush to the Great Rune, immediate rush to the Remembrance. Honestly, what might be a good play if you want to try to snipe that row and prevent your opponent from being able to complete that row is to grab the Nefeli Lu kill and then immediately go to get the Remembrance. Or, even just rushing the Remembrance, let's say you are, one of the, if you're let's say they're both going for the Godric kill here and one of them gets it first, then the other person could maybe just rush the Remembrance to try and snipe that row 2 and block that.
Yeah, no, 100%. I very much agree. And I do wonder what the choices are going to be for classes in this case as well.
Yeah, what do we have here?
We have the Crystal Sword here, and also the Ornamental Straight Swords on Bushy's class, which is the Astrologer. We have also the Grave Tender's Great Axe, I believe, is the one that Pup currently is holding on to. With the... That's the Marred Shield, I believe.
Right, and, okay, there's also a Rotten Spear as well, so you get some status effects there. But I did notice something very interesting, and I'm wondering if our bingo players here will pick up on it. I don't know if you noticed, but Makar's Curved Sword was on one of these classes, which means that they are much more likely to see Bloodhound's Fang on anything that drops a great curved sword. That's a good point. Yep, 100%. So it gives them information on what they might be looking for in the match.
And yeah, 15 seconds left here. It looks like Bushy is going for that Ornamental Straight Sword class. Does have a decent stat spread here. Just a 14 mind though. That is a lot of mana that might not even be used. And looks like Pup is going with the Vagabond class. All right, and here we go. Match time.
That's interesting. I wonder if that's just for stats. Looks like she's pivoting at the last second to...
Wretch.
Was that the Wretch?
Yeah.
Huh. I wonder why.
Maybe just the weapon, the Great Axe. It does have really nice poise damage on it.
Yeah, I do. I'm a big fan of Great Axes for sure. So, looking at this board here, Dom, what's your play? What are you going for first? Are you going straight to Godric?
Dude, I mean, row 2. I don't know. Here's the thing. If row 2 is going to be, someone's going to go for it regardless, right? In this case, if I were facing Bushy being a mind gaming player, I would still go for Godric. However, he's going to pick between Godric's Great Rune and Dupe a Mausoleum. If he gets Godric with the Nefeli Lu, he gets that square, I'm going for Restoring the Great Rune because I know he's going to hold on to that and go for the Dupe instead.
Mm-hmm.
In this case, if I get Godric's Great Rune, or if I get Godric with Nefeli Lu, I'm going to Dupe and not go for the Great Rune.
I'm kind of also wondering if the players will immediately see that row 2 threat. Because looking at this board, you see the synergy between killing Agheel with a +0 weapon only and also the killing a boss on Torrent the whole fight. And that's like a pretty strong synergy you could go for. Knock them both out at the same time. And it could be, that could be a bit of a bait in the early game. It's something you can get a little bit faster, but it doesn't address the row 2 threat.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm not sure. I'm really not sure what the thought process is here from both players. I guess we'll find out soon enough. We do have the shield wieldable by Pup here, but obviously she's going to be using that just to get through the areas. Not going to use that as an actual weapon. I do wonder how many levels they're missing each to wield their weapons. The ornamental straight swords do have really low requirements. So if Bushy did start with the Lands Between Rune, he might be able to use them right away, and they're really not bad. Those are some solid weapons. The Great Axe, however, I do think she might need to grab that Strength Physic that is near Stormhill Shack to actually be able to use that weapon.
Does look like they both used the Lands Between Rune while they were on that elevator. You can see they're both rocking 3,000 runes. So they'll probably both be using that to be able to wield something. Looks like Pup was checking the Kale merchant there, maybe looking for a better weapon. It's entirely possible that Pup chose to go for Wretch just because of the low level, which means that she has a really versatile setup where she can, level into whatever weapon she happens to find.
Nope. Because in this specific format, all classes start at level 9.
I knew that. I did know that, of course. God. You know, it's one of those things where you play enough vanilla Elden Ring, and you just forget that things can be different.
Yeah,
but yeah, you're absolutely right.
Definitely one of the biggest changes to the season is that all classes start at level 9 and all the stats are shuffled. So understanding stat lines and knowing which stats are really, really good is huge for players in this case.
And
so,
I think that's a very good balancing play there for sure. Just means that there's more possibilities for that for, starting weapons. But, maybe Pup looked at that stat allocation and thought that it was just the best stat allocation.
Could be. Or like I said, the Great Axe is not a bad weapon at all. And I think actually this specific Great Axe has really good riposte damage. And in 1.10, it's going to be even better. I to my understanding, I might be misremembering if this is the weapon, but there is a Great Axe that does deal just as much crit as the Misericordia does as a dagger.
I believe that's the Executioner's Great Axe. Is that the one that she currently has?
I think this might be a different one. So it's the different axe then. Yeah.
Okay.
That is
but we saw her do the greatsword check there. Unfortunately, it was the Sacred Order greatsword, or the Golden Order greatsword rather.
Yeah.
Not really what you're looking for. It's the second time that greatsword has shown up in that chest this weekend.
Oh, well, here's the thing. Either you see Alabaster Lord's Sword all the time, and then people are like, it's always there. It's always there. And then you have 2 bad weapon checks, and then people are like, yo, where are the good weapons? It's like you can't win, No,
you really can't. It's either scripted to be good or it's scripted to be bad.
Yeah, pretty much.
How the narrative always goes. But we haven't seen a single Dragon Halberd this weekend, so I think that's a nice way we've bucked the trend this time around.
Yeah, actually kind of crazy. And Bushy here already on the market fight, by the way, using the Crystal Sword. Very interesting. I've heard that this weapon's not that great, but at the very least, it does allow him to get through Margit early on and allow him to actually fight
the stats for it.
Yeah.
Not to mention the straight sword moveset, definitely not bad.
It looks like that. Okay, Pup is making her way towards Margit as well now. I believe she does have the stat requirements now to two-hand the axe.
Yeah, it looks like she's just sticking with that. We'll have to see if her damage outpaces Bushy here, because that could make a big difference in going for that Godric square.
Mm-hmm. This will be very interesting, but it definitely gives Bushy a lot of priority on that whole road 2 that we're talking about.
But, it's their damage is going to come into play on that Godric square a ton, because not a lot of people know this, but whenever you summon an NPC on a boss, it actually upgrades that boss to essentially the NG plus variant of it in terms of health and in terms of poise. So it becomes much harder to churn through that HP bar and much harder to stagger it. So their damage is going to become that much more important once they get to that fight.
Very nice stagger here, though, from Pup, by the way. Decent damage, too. Really going to wonder if maybe her being there a little bit later but having a stronger weapon is going to play a factor in that. And while we go into the slow motion replay of that swing.
Yeah, it builds the anticipation, and that's what I love about this broadcast, Dom, is that it is building so much anticipation, so much excitement for Pup to get absolutely clobbered by that hammer there.
Wow. Okay, Bushy doing a great sword check here, real quick. Which is costing him a little bit of time, but in this case, also, it's not the end of the world since he can still pivot back to gatekeep if he really wants to, or goes to round table.
I'm imagining he saw the damage on that Margit fight with the crystal sword and was like, "No, this is not going to cut it."
Yeah. Although, I mean, if you look at it, Nefeli Lu does do a lot of damage for you. If she gets to use those Ashes of War, she could almost solo Godric, you know, if you at least pull some aggro.
Yeah, it's hard though because you gotta rely on that lovely NPC RNG, where sometimes you get the smartest NPC on the planet, and sometimes you get just a little. It's like a
zombie.
Exactly. I was gonna say like a snail, like he's got a snail brain, but like that didn't really. I don't know why I thought a snail. I just felt like it was fitting.
Maybe because slow because...
I find it's best not to analyze it. It's okay.
NPC not moving, you know?
Pup is going the side path? Could she be checking the claws?
I guess, hoping to possibly get Starfists as a drop.
But this is potentially going to give up the Godric square entirely.
This is a weird call. She already has a decent weapon. She could easily do Godric with this. And what in the hell is going on?
Once again, that anticipation is building. I can hardly handle it.
I don't know. It's I don't know what's going on. It's not my PC and it's not my interwebs. It's definitely something else.
Frankly, I think it adds a lot of charm, and I would not have it any other way. What other tournament broadcast scenario has that level of anticipation?
Ah, yes. I was honestly going to wait and just let you linger in the dark for as long as possible without
sometimes I will start a sentence and not really have a path for how I want to get to the end of it. And I got to tell you, Dom, that definitely makes things very interesting when it comes to commentating. And speaking of interesting, we have our first Godric fight here with Nefeli Lu coming in the fog wall. Bushy is just going to town with those straight sword R2s.
So there's a magical property to the crystal sword, is that right?
Yes, it does some it does some magic damage as well.
Not a lot, it seems.
It's honestly a really bad weapon, I feel like.
It does have a spinning slash, which is not the worst.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it could have some synergy if you also want to go for like a battle mage type of build. But when it comes to going for something a little more optimized, like you want in bingo, it's not ideal.
Yeah, no, I definitely understand that. And we do have Pup here now having the dialogue with Nefeli Lu, but Bushy is already going into phase 2 now.
Yeah, I think you know, at this rate, Bushy's probably got this square secured unless something terrible happens.
Yeah, but that weird fist weapon check really kind of cost her there. She does have the Venomous Fangs, though, which is a really, really good weapon. But sadly, that's going to cost her the square.
Yeah, a bit of a surprising check. And she dies to one of the tornado guards hanging out by the troll. You cannot underestimate those little tornadoes that they throw.
Yeah. Stormblade is insane.
Especially when you don't have any armor yet. That's kind of the danger of starting off with that wretch class.
You know, it might be rain 60% of the time, but wind does hit 100% of the time, and it hits hard.
Right you are, Dom. Absolutely. It does hit, and it does wind, and it blows, let me tell you. It really does. It blows when it hits you. And Bushy securing that Nefeli Lu square on Godric. Unfortunately, I think for Puppery, she will probably not be able to beat him to either the Great Rune square or the Remembrance duplication.
And I told you, he's not going to go for the Restoring the Great Rune. He's going to go straight for duping. If this was...
for the dupe.
Oh, man. I knew it.
I'm interested to see how Pup is going to react to this, because I think with Bushy going for this duplication, Pup's best move would just be to go for that, rush the Godric's Great Rune, secure the block on row 2, although that is pretty big time sink. Maybe she'd be better off going for Sacred Flask charges and unlocking, Altus Plateau along the way and sort of opening up her avenues to other lines.
See, now she's going to go for a Gil +0 here, which is a fine square. However, this does tell Bushy that he did sniper on this Godric Nefeli Lu square, because we're already 12 minutes into the match. And now you go for a Gil +0. Something must have happened in those 12 minutes that you didn't go for that right away, So this is definitely going to give him give the information to Bushy that he did get a snipe off, which in turn tells him that he's got enough time to just go for Restore Godric's Great Rune. He doesn't have to go for it.
And I'm a little surprised to see Pup is not doing this while on Torrent to secure both those squares at the same time. Maybe she plans to go to Pumpkinhead after this and do it on that fight instead.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Decent damage here, though. Doesn't get the riposte, sadly. Get some jumping R2s, though, on the head. Very nice damage.
But, we also get to consider she did build a little bit of advantage. She didn't get nothing out of that time spent because she got the 12k runes from Margit and also picked up a decent fist weapon that she could choose to use in the future if she wants to.
And honestly, getting some really good RNG here from Agheel. She did have that backwards flame attack, which is a little annoying, but overall getting a lot of stomp attacks from Agheel is really, really good at RNG to make this fight go a little bit quicker.
Oh, my favorite is when Agheel flies up and lands on the cliff, where you can't follow him and you can't attack him. You just got to wait for him to come back down.
Just watch.
Yeah.
Riposte here should potentially kill. There we go.
Absolutely has that potential.
Yeah, okay, it's like sometimes words.
I couldn't agree with you more there, Dom. Sometimes words. Just like the Bingus does Bongus, the words do word. Indeed.
And we're going to get the dupe here from Bushy. And then maybe he would consider restoring Godric's Great Rune afterwards. He does see that she just got that Agheel square. This is really bad for Pop. This is really, really bad. I know she realizes that row 2 is good, but just giving it up and not contesting Sacred Flask or not trying to at least work towards Crucible Knight duo, this is going to put her in a really, really bad position really quickly.
Maybe she sees the, I believe we have an 8 Limgrave bosses here somewhere. Unless I'm making that up. I have been known to make a thing up. Yep, in the bottom left next to the Moog square. So maybe she wants to make more progress towards that.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
We may see a pumpkin on Torrent, and then maybe like a Tree Sentinel afterwards, maybe an Air Tree Avatar and Weeping later on. Not entirely sure what her plan is here. Maybe a situation where she is just getting progress in some direction while trying to figure out what her plan is to respond to Bushy's plays here.
This weapon is strong, but it is a little slow. I wonder how it is on horseback. Doesn't seem too bad on horseback, actually.
Look, it's doing pretty good work. She just has to be careful of the head slams.
There's the stagger. Needs 2 more.
This is probably the kill right here. Nicely done.
Not bad, not bad. That was a really quick kill. There's the dupe though for Bushy now, and now he's gonna go for restoring the Godric's Great Rune. This is so strong for Bushy. This is such a strong road to. If he just goes ahead, goes for that Crucible Knight Misbegotten duo, and 10 Sacred Flask charges, this is bingo in like 30 minutes.
It could be, yeah. Papa's gonna have to figure out how to respond.
The best way to respond in this case would be Dectus. Grab Dectus. Because then you can get the Sacred Flask charges
while also making progress towards anything that's on Altus Plateau.
Yep.
We got a Morgoth's Great Rune. What other Altus Plateau things do we have here? I mean, there's some synergy on row 1 actually, with killing Godskin Noble, taking Rise, Hand to Volcano Manor.
The only problem is that
pressure on that.
Why create like the pressure is not going to be useless though. You could create as much pressure as you want. Row 2 is way too devastating if you already have 3 squares.
She can't afford to leave it alone.
Yeah.
But she is going towards Dectus, so maybe she is going to go for those flasks, which would actually be really big for her.
Yep. Unless Bushy calls the same thing and goes for flasks as well. Then we have a little bit of a race going on.
Thankfully for Pup, it actually does look like she's going to have an advantage towards going for the flask square if she does commit to it. Yeah. This is one of those situations where no matter what happens, I think the most important thing that these players can do is commit to something. Indecision is something that always hurts players in these matches for sure.
It is a very weird thing to see it in action too, you know, where you see that the players are making the right choice, but just based on confidence, they second guess themselves and then make a wrong choice, and there's nothing you can do about it either. You know, you're just watching. I think it's such a fascinating thing of seeing that process take place.
Yeah, it seems like in most cases, if you invest some time in something, you should see it through. Otherwise, that time is just lost.
Okay, it looks like she poured it back. You're going to be taking Celia Tunnel to do Celia Skip. Get the other half of the Dectus.
I think this is a good play.
Yeah, this is going to be the third square now for Bushy. Maybe he's already under the assumption that she sees row 2. This is going to be something that Mind Gamey Bushy would do, is not even go for Sacred Flask Charges or Crucible Knight Duo. Start going for the other easy stuff here instead. You know, go for Wet Blades. Go for Spirit Ash +4. Go for a Soldier of Godric Barefist only if you really wanted to. But start moving around, diversifying your portfolio in this case by diversifying your lines and columns, and kind of, you know, letting the pressure build up.
Very similar to what we saw from Kata last game, actually, where instead of going for like the most obvious, NPC invader square, he went for other lines and built pressure elsewhere. Started going for a diagonal instead.
Yeah.
I'm curious what other threats Bushy is going to be able to build here. And you know,
to Liurnia right away.
He's not going for the Dectus medallions. It doesn't mean he's not going for Altus though, because he could be going for a Makar kill instead.
Or
and like we mentioned
Abductors.
earlier, yeah, he could be going for Abductors as well, which would synergize with the Altus squares for sure. Also Godskin Noble.
In this case, honestly, if I were Bushy, I would go for the Golden Seed here, and then also take the path down, check Dragon Halberd, get Raya Lucario set up so that you can do Version Abductor Duo if you really wanted to. Or in this case, maybe just, get Dectus and just try and force Sacred Flasks, but I don't believe that's on the menu for him.
Yeah, I mean, I know people have timed the difference between Makar and Dectus before, and Makar is just a little bit slower. And at this point, Pup has picked up a few seeds already. Mm-hmm. So on top of the ones that she'll get in Altus. So even if Bushy does make it to Altus, it might not be enough.
Very nice skip here, though, from Pup.
Yeah, very clean. But as we mentioned earlier, I feel like there's a very high chance that Makar does have Bloodhound's Fang. And Bushy's in a spot where his weapon is pretty, we'll say situational. I'll use the word situational.
Subpar.
Hey, we like to maintain some positivity around here.
Subpar still means it's good, right? It's just not optimal.
I think subpar, by definition, means bad. But maybe it's like bad in a good way though.
Like Michael Jackson bad.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah. I mean, subpar could mean below par, which in golf is actually good.
Yeah, that's how that works.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And second half, the deck this year for Pup now. Maybe even grabbing Radigan Source Seal.
Would be great for her stats. Radigan Source Seal. Yeah. Fantastic talisman offensively. Defensively, it's a little more situational. I think it's worth it defensively up until you get a certain amount of vigor, certain amount of HP, and then it starts to be more harmful than helpful.
It is, yeah, it is, I think, good up until, I think, 30 vigor is what I've been told anyways.
Okay, that makes sense.
Around there is like the threshold where all of a sudden taking damage is just not worth the extra health boost bonus.
Right. But, you know, if you don't take damage, it doesn't matter. So the offense can pay for itself in that regard.
Don't get hitus in the bingus. That did not work.
That's what I always say. Look, it worked for me. And I think chat will back me up on this.
I appreciate that.
Absolutely. Now, do we get an idea of what Bushy is doing right now? Because he's no longer progressing in Liurnia, and he's actually making his way over to Caelid instead.
Checking Colossal? Nope. He's riding towards the Erdtree avatar here.
What can he be doing with a Putrid avatar? There's no... We don't see any Physic Flask tiers on this board. Do we see a...
Spirit Ash +4, I guess? For the Gloveworts? That's the only thing I can think of. Guess the light attack right away. That's fun.
That's definitely one of the most fun attacks you can get in that situation.
And Pup going to Liurnia now. So she's definitely forcing Altus here. She has full Dectus. She's got Radigan Source Seal. She's going straight to Liurnia. This is telling me that she's just trying to rush Sacred Flask charges as soon as possible, which is honestly not a bad thing. This is like one of those good blocks. We were talking about bad blocks last match where like it's a block but it's not really progressing anything in your favor. In this case, this is a good block because not only is it blocking row 2, but also it's progressing her map, it's progressing her flask charges. She has access to Altus. So it's giving her a lot of benefits for blocking this, not just getting rid of pressure.
Yeah, huge credit to Pup for just making a very decisive play that gets something done. Yeah. Because in her position where Bushy is putting a lot of pressure on a line, it can be easy to kind of panic. It can be really easy to feel like there isn't really a great play. But she picked, I think, what is probably the best play out of all of them.
I mean, even, like, I guess, I don't know. I guess I would say secondary best, because obviously you could have tried to force Godric still, but she gave up those 3 squares, which is definitely pretty destructive when it comes to your early game. But at least doing the secondary best option of being like, okay, I gave up 3 squares. Let me kind of fix that situation by going for a really good block here, and taking care of also map presence and progression.
Yeah, and it's hard with those Godric squares and the Remembrance synergy because for her, deciding which one of those things to try and snipe before Bushy gets to it is extremely difficult. It comes down, like, by continuing to pursue that, she would have potentially set herself up to get unlucky and it would sink even more time, which is definitely a huge risk. It could have paid off, but I think that just opting to go somewhere else and apply pressure elsewhere is a totally valid play as well.
Yeah.
Maybe Bushy is hoping to put some pressure on column 2 by going for the Spirit Ash summon. But he probably... That's an interesting play. I don't know if I would go for column 2 if I were Bushy, knowing that Pup has already done a Geel and probably Pumpkinhead as well.
Well, I guess in this case... You can still burn through Limgrave bosses very quickly. You gotta keep in mind that those bosses were taken care of at minute 12, which means those were very suboptimal weapons. If he goes and checks Round Table at this point, upgrades the +4 or +5 Somber weapon, he can make up that time deficit of her going for those squares early by just bulldozing through those bosses way faster than she did.
That's true, yeah. Just depends on what his weapon setup ends up being because it is not going to happen with this Crystal Sword.
Yeah, I'm wondering. He hasn't checked the twins yet. Is going to be doing Spirit Ash +4 first, and hopefully then checks the twins to see if there is a viable weapon that he can use.
Yeah, it's definitely worth checking here. Do you ever think it's worth checking the remembrance weapon from Godric?
Sometimes, yeah. And in this case, he definitely should. The only problem is that for some reason, Mima likes to chat when you only kill one remembrance. When you kill two, she does talk a little bit, but gives you a talisman pouch. When you kill one, she tells you her whole life story, which is a little frustrating.
Pup missing the jump down to the Iggy teleporter. Devastating. But yeah, you're absolutely right. Grandma doesn't get to see her grandkids that often, and when she does, she definitely has a lot to say.
It's like that. You gotta visit more often, so they have less to talk about.
That's right.
The main concern is being stalled by dialogue.
Mm-hmm.
It's like an actual video game.
It's almost like that. Almost like it's a video game. And look at Bushy securing that Spirit Ash +4 summon, bringing his score on the board up to 4.
I don't think he checked twins though. For weapon
I believe
options.
he did. I saw a tree spear, which looked interesting.
Okay.
Tree spear is certainly an option.
It's not bad.
Mean, it's at least better than the crystal sword.
Yeah.
But I don't believe he picked it up. He may be looking for something a little bit more powerful.
There's a merchant down here that have 2 other weapon options as well. You could still check the halberd location here. Excuse me.
It's okay. Pup is going to be upgrading something. Or no, she's probably just grabbing this gray so that she can upgrade later.
Yeah. I don't think she has anything currently that she's eyeballing.
And then she's likely going to be making her way over to Altus at this point. I don't... She must be grabbing the Raya Lucaria key, but I'm kind of surprised to see she didn't just continue past Iggy.
Yeah, so going through Iggy to the elevator is faster in this case if you don't have the Academy key and you already are at Iggy. Or EG. I gotta say it. I'm saying it now the way you say it.
What's wrong with the way I say it?
It just sounds weird. I'm sorry, it sounds subpar, Josh. Which means it's below par, which is it's good.
Oh.
Right?
Oh, okay.
Right. Oh, she's doing an axe check here. Okay. Ice Rind Hatchet and the Ice Rind Hatchet check.
The vanilla Ice Rind.
Leaf on a stick.
I wonder how she feels about that. It's a very polarizing weapon, the Ice Rind Hatchet.
It's if you could even call it a weapon. I call it a popsicle.
That's right. Yep. But like not a good popsicle. It's like I mean it's not like one of those lemonade popsicles which are delicious. It's more like one of those like popsicles made of like a leaf.
It's like a popsicle delicious. Where they have like the bug inside for some reason.
Yeah.
And it's like that.
Those are real. That's a real thing.
Yeah.
I hate when I get bugs in my popsicles.
Or lollipops.
Yeah. It's like a Tootsie Pop.
Yeah.
Like the terrible Tootsie Roll in the middle.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, not a fan. Pup is making her way down to another merchant. She is desperately looking for a good weapon. These are very interesting matches. We had one of these yesterday as well between Zoodle and Tom, where everywhere these players are looking, the weapons are just terrible.
I mean, I don't know about terrible, but there is Dragon Halberd.
Okay, that's a weapon. That is a weapon. Okay.
And Pup kissing her screen in excitement of finding Dragon Halberd. That is definitely going to be very, very useful for the rest of this match. Bushy finding Ice Rind Hatchet as well now.
The caster blessing strikes again. It's what I do. You know?
I do wonder now, since they both actually have what's considered a good weapon.
Right, yeah, Dragon Halbert's very subpar, I would say.
What's actually going to be taken next square-wise? Because right now we've had about 10 minutes of a montage of weapon checks from both players.
They're farming. Positively farming. But Pup is now in a very good position to start cruising through the mid to late game. She isn't going for the upgrade right away, I'm guessing because she doesn't have the runes to make that upgrade, but she's going to have to get them from somewhere. I wonder where she plans on getting that.
I don't know. What I'm really confused about is that she was really kind of beelining the Sacred Flask Charges square and then just started doing a weapon check, whole section or segment for about 5 minutes there. Like, if Bushy was racing her to Flask Charges, she would have lost that square.
Yeah, it definitely gives Bushy a frightening opportunity to catch up.
And he is making his way to the EG teleporter now.
Thankfully, Bushy was also kind of exploring his options for weapons. I wonder if he's found something he wants to commit to.
If it's Leaf on a Stick, I'm going to be annoyed.
Dom is going to have some problems if it's Leaf on a Stick.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to be smudging.
Yeah, absolutely.
As they say.
But Pup is finally making her way up to Altus Plateau. It opens a lot of opportunities for her, including that 10 Sacred Flask charges, which I honestly think that the 10 Sacred Flask charges is a little bit underrated by some runners, and because it sets up your survivability a ton for the mid to late game as well.
Yeah, talking about leveling health to make sure they don't die. Also having flasks to make sure that you don't die is just as useful. In that case, we saw that with the Zoodle versus Tom match, where Zoodle had a +7 flask thanks to a square, and that made BBK way easier for him to where he could take hits, heal up real quick, and just keep on going.
Oh, it looks like Bushy is committing to the Ice Rind Hatchet here, and Dom is. I can see the migraine forming, just live here on air. Look at those wrinkles on his forehead. You can see the feeling he has about
what wrinkles?
Well, I mean, no, like when you look. Okay, I don't have them, but you definitely have them.
I got nope. There's nothing there. Oh shit.
They weren't wrinkles. They were more like waves. We'll call them waves. Yeah. They looked very distinguished.
Like ocean waves.
Right. Very calming.
I wonder, like, if I get older, like, do you think it gets, like, really loose and weird to where, like...
Yeah, it does.
That's terrible.
Yeah. Yep. It's pretty unfortunate, actually.
So it's gonna... Yeah, that's just disappointing. It's gonna be like a Michelin Man type rose of, skin.
Yeah.
Gonna be able to...
One of the joys of getting older, though, right?
Oh yes, yeah. I've always thought about how I'm looking forward to my skin lines changing when I age. That sounds fantastic.
Look, I gotta tell you, you can't see it because I did a really good job of my skincare routine this morning, but I'm definitely getting a little bit of wrinkles here and there. Just a tiny. They're starting to creep in around the corners of my eyes, around like right here as well. Like it's happening. I think we got gray hairs around the corner.
For me, it's like it's not because I'm old. It's because that's just my face.
Right.
And Bushy making his way to the elevator now too, I believe.
Okay. Well, he's gonna have to go through Makar.
Yeah, because he doesn't have Dectus.
We'll have to see. He may end up regretting upgrading this Ice Rind Hatchet if he fights Makar and he gets Bloodhound's Fang. And by seeing that Makar Scale Sword in the starting classes, I'm going to call it right now. This is definitely Bloodhound's Fang.
I'm gonna make a call. I'm gonna say it's Morgoth's Curved Sword.
Ooh, that's a really good weapon too, actually. I love that weapon.
I'm gonna say Morgoth.
The stat investment's really high though.
Do you wanna make it interesting?
Well, Don, let me tell you, bingo is already very interesting. And these players are making it about as interesting as it could possibly be, unless you want to put some gift subs on the line.
I'll think about it.
Right.
But we are going to have Pup having Sacred Flasks here in a very short time. By short, I mean like 3 minutes.
Okay, that is, 3 minutes is pretty short, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's, I mean.
Yeah.
Yep. And we have Bushy making his way downtown, walking fast, faces past, and he is homebound. As we love to point out around here.
Is he homebound? Because I feel like as a Tarnished, you're homeless. In this case, you have no money, you have no titles, you have no home. Roundtable is just a hotel.
Yeah.
Is it Krot? No, it's not.
No, it's really not. And now we're sad.
Because you have to go to the tree, and that's just what it be.
Rap God. That was good.
Thank you.
Keep it going.
I'm thinking. I'm cooking.
That's all the rhymes he's got. That's it.
On second thought, maybe I do have more.
Oh.
We have bingo and squares galore that are available to every single player. And if you kill enough bosses, you do get the title of Slayer. There you go. All right, I'm good.
Who let him cook?
Yeah. My final bar: rot dog with a rot. Oh no, my streams is freezing.
Yeah, it's all. I'm gonna hold your bars responsible for that one. Even the streams are hitting you with a stare. And Pup has secured the 10 Sacred Flask charges, effectively blocking row 2, and also starting a threat on column 3, perhaps. And with that progress on Altus, she's actually setting herself up nicely for the Altus Plateau Heroes Grave if she wants to, which means that she could establish that center square threat, put some pressure on the row 3 as well.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of surprised neither player has gone for the Soldier of Godric Barefist only.
It is a bit of a time sink. That's why.
It's more than you would expect, I feel like. It's one of those early game squares that is high time investment.
Yeah.
It takes a deceptively long amount of time. Same with 8 Limgrave bosses as well.
In this case, it is a time sink. And, it also makes you sit down and think, if I go for this square, would the other player even care? Because if I go for column 1, it could be just easily done. But in the end of the match, what do you... Okay, all right, I'm done.
I'm not going to lie. He was kind of cooking there for a second.
I got to souse it up sometimes, man.
Yeah. Positively saying words that rhyme. That is for sure.
That's half the job.
Yes, he really is.
That's half the task.
Yeah. Looks like Pup is going to be doing the Raya quest line here. Maybe taking Raya's hand to Volcano Manor. Hanging out with Bay. And the best thing about this square, I feel like, is that you could take out our guy. The whatever this guy's name is.
Godskin?
No.
Oh, Boggart.
Yeah, Boggart. That's it. You can get his balls. But Pup is not going for the balls.
Well, the fight's kind of annoying.
It is annoying. That's true, especially with a slower weapon.
But looks like she's actually going for that square. Bushy going for Makar. Is there Dragonheart bosses? No, this is pretty much just a one-off. No progression really besides having Altus access for doing this fight. Yeah, it
looks like he just wants to go for that Altus access. He's going to need it eventually. And, maybe he gets a good curved greatsword out of this. The Bloodhound's Fang, of course. Practically guaranteed. You know, something I didn't consider is that Pup has a decent opportunity to go for a Remembrance Boss bow only.
She could do that on a Godric, but the problem is finding a bow.
That's true, yeah.
There was a pulley crossbow, though, on the Beach Merchant.
Okay.
She could do that.
I wonder if she took note of that.
She could do that.
Aw, taking Raya's hand to Volcano Manor. Love to see it.
And some good old leaf action. And jump. Ooh, that was close. You almost got stuck in the belly there, it looked like.
But a very clean fight nonetheless here. Nice frost proc at the end. Nice job, Bushy. Getting the not Bloodhound's Fang, Zamor curved sword. We were both wrong. Wow.
Sag.
Well. Okay. And in this match here, we are 4 for 4. Bringing out the Wendy's special yet again.
It happens so often. It's like they want it to happen.
I know. It's almost like I think there could be some Wendy's sponsorships in the future.
That would be kind of cool. Not gonna lie. That would be kind of neat.
I like Wendy's. Wendy's isn't bad.
That's all right. I like I'm not helping the case of getting a sponsor when saying, that's whatever. It's okay. A sponsor would be great. Yeah, it would be great. You know, what do you think about them? It's all right. What's whatever.
Yeah, it's fine. There's,
subpar.
There are no McDonald's.
Yeah. Looks like that Pup is going for Falling Star Beast, which would give her Somber 6, but in this case, she dies.
She gets bodied by the shrimp.
All she gets is a loading screen.
And what do we have Bushy working on here? Looks like he may be pivoting over to the 8 Limgrave bosses.
Yep.
Which is quite a time commitment.
Okay.
With his current weapon level.
I'm going to say Lucerne drops from this. The halberd.
Yeah. I have an intuition that it is actually going to be the commander's standard.
Can't be, because that drops at the Liurnia halberd location.
I'm going to go ahead and say that it's going to be Loretta's sickle.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And pausing and champing. We're both
Knight
wrong.
Rider glaive.
Okay.
We're terrible at this.
Pup almost dying again. Does die again to the bug up top. She had the old miner man beating the hell out of her while she's trying to go up the ladder.
These pest threads are... They are giving her a hard time here. It's tough.
That old man said, "Get off my ladder."
Yeah. Getting hit with the Wombo combo. Yeah.
Get out of my tunnel.
Really, these enemies, they sure are pestering her, if I do say so myself.
Yeah,
with
something.
The pest threads.
I got it. Something's definitely bugging me about this whole interaction.
And speaking of bugs, Bushy making his way into this place with the fire. What's this place called?
Corridor, hallway, catacombs, something.
Catacombs, that's the one. Yeah, thank you. Absolutely. We got...
Starting to sound like my grandpa when he just like starts pausing mid-sentence. It's like, and he's doing the boss fight time.
We're fighting bosses. We are Having a grand old time here, Dom. Pleasure to be here, by the way. Always a pleasure being
here. Pleasure, for sure.
Commentating bingo brawlers. Loving to see this.
Bingus Bongus is among us. We have a good old watchdog fight. Very quick one, too.
Yeah.
Just zoom in. This is what I was talking about, though. When it came to the Limgrave bosses, as soon as you upgrade a weapon, you pretty much make up for all of the bosses that Pup got in the beginning.
That's true. And I think with that boss, Bushy is probably pulling... Yeah, he's pulling ahead on the Limgrave bosses, which means he's putting a lot of pressure on this column 2 here. I wonder if he plans to commit to that.
Wouldn't be bad, because he already has... He could access Godskin Noble through Raya Lucaria if he wanted to, and then BBK. That'd be a lot of pressure.
Like Bushy is also focusing on making a lot of progress towards the killing 5 bosses with Tree in the name.
Yep.
Which I think is a very, very good call to also block that row 1.
Doing both, pretty much.
That's a pretty nice play.
Yep. I agree. Pup's still fighting Falling Star Beast here. I wonder why she picked Falling Star Beast for the Somber 6. I'm not too... Oh, the Somber Stone Bell Bearings. I'm blind. Row 5.
Right. I wonder if Pup is simply going for squares that block rows and columns that she hasn't blocked yet.
Yeah.
In order to try and force majority on this board.
That would make sense.
Like I said, that's the type of strat that I wanted to see. We were talking about this just at the beginning of the matches today.
Mm-hmm.
That is exactly the type of strat that I was looking for.
And there we go. That is Falling Star Beast now for Pup. Going to Altus right away to grab that Somberstone Bell Bearing too.
And she should have advantage on that.
Bushy going for his second Erdtree avatar and 4th tree boss.
I wonder if he's hoping to complete both those squares at the same time. I think that would be a really powerful play for him. Between the 8 Limgrave bosses and the 5 bosses with Tree in their name.
Yeah.
Question is, did he save himself a Tree boss in Limgrave to end with?
Well, we have Tree Sentinel. You have Erdtree Avatar, Erdtree Watchdog. He already killed those 3.
Right.
I don't think he has any more options for Tree within... I mean, he does have the Tree Spirit, but that's in the Catacomb.
Right. So he may risk giving Puppery information earlier than he has to, but he may also not really care because, I mean, there's no risk of Pup blocking those as far as I can tell.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
But it does tell her what he's been up to.
I mean, so does her grabbing Somberstone Bell Bearings, you know.
Yeah, that's true. The collision on these Erdtree avatars.
Gotta be careful.
It's not good. The Golden Lands taking Bushy out. That is going to be a bit of a time sink here.
Well,
he's going to lose the Rune Arc as well. Hopefully that doesn't have too big of an impact here. And he's just leaving.
Those Erdtrees are definitely the root of all your problems.
Yeah. They... wouldn't you know it? They are sometimes pretty tough.
Sometimes they just don't, leave you alone, and that's really frustrating.
Absolutely. And you know what? When you're looking for an opportunity to branch out, you really don't like to die to these bosses.
Yep. And they always say that trees are all bark and no bite, but let me tell you something. This one definitely bites.
Yeah, right you are, Dom. Right you are. And speaking of, Pup is making her way into this Crystalian duo, looking to hopefully bite off another chunk of this board here and secure that Somberstone Bell Bearing 1 and 2. She swapped over to the Great Axe because she must know that it has a higher
poise
value. That's very smart. That's very smart.
Oh.
And then after breaking the poise, she swaps over to the Dragon Halberd to maximize the DPS.
I guess Bushy could go for the other Erdtree, by the way, in Liurnia if really wanted to. That one near Frenzy Village.
Yeah. That's a good option, for sure. I gotta say, you know, Pup coming into this season being fairly new to bingo and being as dedicated as she has been and you know, being a very fierce competitor has been extremely impressive to see.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree. There we go.
There it is. There's a Somberstone Bell Bearing 1 and 2.
Very nice. 5 for 4 right now for Pup. However, if you're looking at the board, it does seem like Bushy currently does have the lead. When we're looking at column 2, for example, having a bit more board progression than Pup does. Pup is blocking a lot of bingos here, so if she goes for BBK in this case, that would block every single bingo for Bushy.
Yeah, and alternatively, she could choose to go for the Godskin Noble kill without status effects, making more progress on that row 1 and also blocking that column 2 at the same time.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
She's got some options. I'm interested to see what she's going to decide on here, because this is one of those situations where your decision matters a lot and you have a lot of options.
Grabbing
it's tough between it's tough to choose between so many different you know, possibilities here.
Okay, it looks like that maybe Bushy is considering Godskin Noble soon. He did grab a small shield here. That and DTS, I guess. But it does seem like Godskin Noble would be the next play. That is column 2 that would progress his bingo line.
Yeah, he may want to be... You know, it's possible he's leaving Limgrave bosses potentially even for last, because he wants to build that threat and have it sit there and be invisible. Yeah. And then, you know, maybe he kills the Godskin Noble, then he kills the Blackblade Kindred, and then he just kills off the final Limgrave boss, and Puppery never has time to react.
It does apply to both. There is definitely that. Very interesting. Okay, she's going for a Hero's Grave, it looks like. Going to Mount Gelmir for that Red Wolf Hero's Grave. Going to be the next thing on Pup's menu. That is going to be blocking row 3 and also progressing slowly column 3. Oh, okay, she's upgrading, I think.
She does have that Somber 6 sitting in her inventory.
Yep.
But with that column 2 becoming increasingly threatening from Bushy, she may find herself ending up having to fight the Blackblade Kindred.
So this is interesting. So I think Bushy's going to go and cheese DTS as his last tree boss, mark that square, then go for Godskin Noble maybe, then finish off Limgrave bosses and force BBK.
The hard part about the Godskin Noble for Bushy is that he doesn't have a weapon that would be good to fight the Noble with, because as far as I can tell, the only weapon he's upgraded so far is the Leaf on the Stick, the terrible Popsicle, and that is, you know, primarily Frost. Yep.
That is definitely going to kind of bother his playstyle. He could swap to a different weapon if he really wanted to. But yeah, it's going to be not as efficient, for sure. That's where the Dragon Halberd is really good, because if you just don't use the Ash of War, you can just use the physical attack of the Dragon Halberd without buffing it, because then you don't have the Frost Lightning on the weapon itself.
Yeah, it's a pretty versatile weapon. The only thing I don't like about it is that the poise damage isn't incredible compared to some of the other options.
And the Charge Dart, too, is terrible.
Yeah, it really is.
You do the stupid double spin.
It's like situationally okay. It's good against Tree Sentinels and like Loretta, because of the fact that whenever she staggers, whenever you do that Charge R2, first part of it knocks her out of the stagger, and then the second part of it starts building up poise towards the next stagger again.
Yep.
But yeah, she's making her way into the hero's grave here. And I'm sure she knows how to get through here unscathed, unlike me last season.
But now you know.
I probably know. Yeah. That's
somewhat.
Yeah.
Potentially.
I don't know. There's so much trauma. I try not to think about it. They just look. I just don't go in here anymore.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, I just refuse. I won't go in. You can't make.
And sometimes you just don't. You don't have to. You know.
Thank you, Dom. That means a lot to me.
No problem. No problem. You know, not everyone is meant to be everywhere, and
that's right.
That's okay.
What happened to that skeleton just now is what happened to me like 5 times. It's terrible. That one too.
When you think you're doing a good job, even as a skeleton, and then the next thing you know, you don't have any bones.
Yeah, and you know what? When you want someone to throw you a bone and you get a chariot instead, it's pretty tough. What can I say? It's pretty tough. Absolutely. See, my mistake here, I'm going to be honest, my mistake was trying to ride the chariot down. I was not aware you could just kind of yeet your way through here. Like, look at how comfy that is.
I mean, yeah, but the chariot's kind of fun.
It is kind of fun.
I don't know if you ever used it before, but it is very enjoyable to just jump on the chariot, take the ride down, and then, hey, I'm here. It's like calling an Uber, but it's automatic.
It's riding in style. And you were totally right. Bushy is on his way to Draconic Tree Sentinel right now, while Puppery is going into this Red Wolf fight.
This should be a very quick fight for her. +6 Dragon Halberd. This should be a lot of damage.
This is one of the fights that I've seen Puppery practice quite a bit.
Yeah, I think once you learn the moveset of Red Wolf, it is a bit of a joke.
I like this boss a lot, to be honest with you. I think that he's very fun. He's a good doggo. The biggest problem with this boss, honestly, is the arena, particularly in Raya Lucaria. But once you get to this one, arena's a lot better.
It's a red dog with a red. Currently,
that's true.
Doing its last attack. Oh, that could have been really bad. That magic sword could have staggered her enough to where that slam down attack could have actually caught her off guard.
I'm curious, how did she take damage and still roll? Oh, right.
Fair point.
I don't know if I heard you properly there. What was that? Could you say that again for me, please? Oh, oh, Bushy, what happened? Oh, somebody greased up the cliff.
Oh, ain't no way. You know what? He heard like in the distance and was wondering what was that, and then that just distracted him so hard he threw himself off of a cliff.
My God, and he was too far away to take the stake of Marika, so he has to ride all the way back. That's got to be like a 2-minute time sink there.
That is brutal.
Yeah, that's gonna set Puppery up pretty nicely, actually.
Looks like she might be going for the parry Ash of War here as well, going to good old Bernal. Good old Bernie.
Right. Mr. Bernie, always the homie. Knows how to hook you up with a Ash of War when you need it. However, she did take Raya's hand to Volcano Manor already, right?
Yes.
So is Bernie here?
Yes.
He is here. That's...
she hasn't talked to Tanith. She hasn't said hi to Tanith and taken the key yet.
Oh, wow. Okay.
To my understanding.
Okay.
So.
Well, good on her, because otherwise she would be without this parry.
Yeah. It's definitely a good thing that she didn't talk to Tanith, and she doesn't even have to. I mean, she does actually to access Godskin Noble, so I guess it's a good thing that she didn't do that yet.
Yeah.
Here we go. Here we go. Parry time. This time we got it.
Absolutely.
At some point. There we go. Oh, that could have been bad news bears.
And the pillory shield is not a great shield, but he pulls off the parry anyways.
Oh.
And he's quitting out. He has decided he is not messing around with DTS right next to the cliff. He wants to parry the jump. I think that's a good play.
That is very tough. And it looks like that Pup is working towards Wet Blades now.
Do we have a Wet Blade square?
We do. Bottom right.
Oh, look at that. Okay. Making more progress towards the row 5, actually.
Yeah, this is
Do you know what's on row 5, Dom? Are you seeing what I'm seeing?
Yeah, I see 3 Knights Cav.
That's right, Dom. That is very true. And on top of that...
That was scary.
GG's to Bushy. Nicely done, by the way. Nicely done.
GG's.
Never mind. I changed my mind. I'm not finishing that sentence.
It rhymes with log.
Pog?
Mog.
His name's Moog.
No, okay, if you could say Iggy, I could say Mog, okay? That's the agreement that we're coming towards. And you know what? Okay.
Mog. It sounds gross.
It's like fog. Bog.
Yeah, bogs are gross.
What's a bog again? Isn't it like a swampy...
Yeah. But yeah, you're absolutely right, Dom. There is a Moog Lord of Blood right there. I didn't even notice it. Happy you saw it. Because I have been wishing to see a Moog Lord of Blood all weekend.
Well, if not, we still have next weekend.
That's true. That's true. Could happen. How do you feel about Moog? What's your take? Even his phase 2?
Yeah, 100%.
People hate his phase 2 because he's a very gooey boss and he throws the goo like everywhere. But like, I don't know. I've learned to like it. I what can I say? I'm a fan of the goo. What? Why are you looking at me like that? Why, Dom? He's the Lord of Goo. No? Okay. Well, Pup is out. No, Pup died to the lizard on the way to Godskin Noble.
Leaf on a stick here for Bushy, by the way, going for a Knight's Cap. This is going to be also Limgrave boss, so he's actually going to be possibly going for a twofer.
It's interesting to see going for Knight's Cav. I do think it's a solid idea.
I mean, yeah, it's covering your column 2, but it's also kind of progressing other things on the board to create double pressure, in my opinion. Pretty much. Yeah.
Bushy is doing a lot of these, like, synergistic plays where he's doing multiple things at the same time.
Yep.
Where it establishes, low pressure in the short term, but once it actually, once he pulls it off, it establishes a lot of pressure all at once. Because, Pup could be looking at this 5-6 score, feeling like she is in a comfortable position. Suddenly, as soon as he finishes that last Knight's Cav, could turn around and be 7-6, and all of a sudden she's behind by 1.
This is looking very, very interesting. The question is, after he gets the Limgrave bosses / Knights Cav combo, is he going to go for Godskin afterwards? Is he going to go for BBK? Is he going to play at all? It's a big mystery.
At some point, Blackblade Kindred is... We have seen a lot of Blackblade Kindred this weekend.
Which I think is great, because Season 1, we barely got to see that boss.
Yeah. And... I think that the players were not nearly as well equipped for Blackblade Kindred on the whole. Yeah. But this time around, it seems like everybody knows what they're doing. It's pretty impressive to see.
Okay, we have Godskin Noble actually from Pup now. And she just gets stabbed in the blib blab That is one hell of a one-shot.
I know, not even, like the blib blab, like that is.
You don't want that blib blab damage. That is one place. It's like a kidney shot.
That's right. That is right. It's actually directly next to the kidney, and it is twice as painful.
It high fives the pancreas. Knight's Cav here and weeping.
It's interesting. It looks like Pup is opting to go somewhere else. Maybe she feels like she's not well equipped enough for this fight yet. I mean, I can't blame her considering, she essentially got one tapped there. So vigor is a stat. It really is. And I think that Puppery is well aware of that. And perhaps she wants to raise that health before she goes back.
I think she's trying to finish Limgrave bosses here, potentially.
Well, hopefully she doesn't invest too much time into it. Otherwise, that's going to interfere with her plans.
This is actually really good for Bushy, too, that she pivoted off of Noble, because that would have been a huge block.
Yeah. Yeah, Bushy is making great progress here towards multiple squares. Now, it is interesting that Bushy is opting to go for this Limgrave Knight's Cav, because it means that he's probably not going to get Knight's Cav and Limgrave bosses at the same time.
Yeah. Yep. Maybe go for a Knight's Cav cheese and Kaled, and then go doing a Limgrave boss. A Geel.
There could even be some additional mind games happening here where he goes and he claims the 8 Limgrave bosses and then hopes that Pup will pivot to Knight's Cav, thinking that that's safe to go for. And then he claims the Knight's Cav before she can, and she's wasted even more time.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Surprised to see he's not going for the Kaled Knight's Cav cheese, and instead he's going for the Liurnia one.
Oh, hello.
And choosing to do so in slow motion all the while. That's extremely impressive, actually.
I wonder what the input is at that point to go that slow.
I think it's a little... I think it's L.
Mm-hmm. L stick, L bumper, L trigger. Which one?
L.
L. Okay, so I'll just all three at the same time.
L for lower the frame rate.
Yeah. Physic here for Pup, by the way. I think she also grabbed the Sleep Pot recipe.
Ooh. Wait, where's she off to?
But Sleep Pot recipe wouldn't work on Godskin because no status effects. So, yep.
There's the Sacred Blade pickup, which does not have any use on this board. No, it does. There's a Deathbird and Deathrite Bird. Okay. That would be a very good pickup for Pup, actually.
Oh!
That's for the second time this match. Puppery has died to fall damage on the Iggy teleporter skip. And
there is a good old Lucerne for Bushy grabbing 3 Knights Cav. That is now 6-6. Going to be 7-6 in just a second here. Going for either Pumpkinhead or, in this case, going for the Deathbird and Weeping.
Deathbird makes a lot of sense here.
Yeah, I don't know what this Deathbird even gives you, actually.
It gives you a axe.
Oh, it's sacrificial?
It gives you the sacrificial axe, yeah. So could even be a Stormhawk axe here.
Could be.
Something I've noticed that Bushy is doing. This is a really interesting strat that we've seen from Bushy so far in this match, where he will complete a square while leaving one boss left on another square.
Yeah.
And that way, he goes from one square to the next, and he chains them together. And rather than claiming them all at the same time, he opens up his opponent to potentially going for squares that he can just finish before they have any chance to.
Right. That bat is just not having it with Bushy enjoying his leaf on a stick. Getting some nice headshots here on the Deathbird, though. Doesn't have any Holy Pots or Sacred Blades, so he's going to have to just deal with possibly getting a Frost proc on it. Should be a nice roll here. Very nice.
Not getting grabbed. Continuing to go for the headshot damage.
got to be a little careful here. I think one more charged R2 should get him a stagger, though. Should be really close anyways. Getting some... Ooh! Okay.
Calculated dodges here from Bushy. That's incredible.
Besides getting some DK64 shout out, that's going to be a Death Bird. Okay. I love that soundtrack. Here we go. So they're finally here, performing for you. If you know the words, you can join in too. Put your hands together if you wanna clap, and we'll take you through this monkey rap. Huh, DK, Donkey Kong, DK, Donkey Kong is here. Yeah.
Who's your favorite Kong?
Tiny.
Okay. I'm more of a lanky guy myself, personally.
Lanky's really cool too. I like both of those.
Big fan of lanky, absolutely.
Those are probably the two best Kongs. Diddy is overrated in my opinion.
Amen. I'm glad somebody said it. It had to be said, you know. And you are the first one to say it. I'm happy for you.
Thank you. A little bit of fisting action going on here from Pup, by the way. See if she knows the R2 strat rather than the parry strat.
Looks like she is going for R2s. And the damage is not bad for fists. Look, I've done a lot of fisting in this game, and it's bad. But Pup is making the most of it here.
Not bad damage
Soldier
at all.
Godric is doing the same attack over and over again and missing a whole lot.
Getting a lot of strafes, too. There is a Deathrite Bird now on Bushy's screen as well. Did he just explode himself with the physic? Is that what? Did I just say that?
He did do that Air Tree Avatar, and it does do a lot of holy damage, so I actually think that's a pretty nice play.
That's interesting.
Although, personally, I might have saved it for phase 2 whenever the attacks from the Deathrite Bird have a little bit more zoning potential, but he's making great progress nonetheless. And it looks like he did put Sacred Blade on his Battle Axe, which I guess he got from the other Death Bird.
Oh, yeah. Good point. Always got to be careful here. Keep in mind, guys, if you are fighting this Deathrite Bird, the explosion is a star shape, and it's going to be pointing north, so you want to run south when that happens.
That's one of the mechanics ever, I would say.
Here it is again. Run south. You have to run south. You're going to get hit by that tracking. Semi-south.
I'm not sure. I don't know if Bushy knows the south tech.
Yeah, it's got to look at the compass. Oh, he's going to die here.
And that just goes to show you the Deathrite Birds, they are sometimes the death wrong birds.
Sometimes, and charge attacks here on Soldier of Godric.
Looks like Puppery is going to be completing the Soldier of Godric square, applying a lot more pressure to that row 3, and Blackblade Kindred is becoming an increasingly threatening square by the second.
I want to see BBK come out here soon for either of these players. I think she might be going for Godskin Noble again now.
Yeah, maybe she... I also wonder...
Maybe not.
Yeah, it looks like she's not, actually.
This
something that I think, there is something to be said for is whenever a fight is not going your way, rather than just beating your head against the wall and risking going on tilt, sometimes it's better, even if it's not the optimal thing to do, from a bingo perspective, sometimes it's better for your mental to just go for something you feel more confident on.
That is fair. Nice dodge here from Bushy, by the way. Is going to get an attack, though, from the Deathrite Bird, which is a little annoying, but he is going to go on horseback, dodge most of it, which is really, really nice. He's got to be careful here. He's about to meet that 50 HP threshold, which does make that explosion attack happen. So he's got to be wary. And just make sure that he is looking south and running south when that attack happens.
It would be nice if he could be landing more headshots with that Sacred Blade, but it is hard to sometimes find that opportunity.
Yep.
But I know headshots with Sacred Blade are one of the fastest ways to take down that health pool.
He's getting some charged R2s off here, which is really huge. He could have gotten a stagger there, to be honest, if he did a jumping R2 on that back hop from the bird.
Does get tagged by the arrows, but he's got the HP pool to support him here.
Definitely dodged most of it. It's got to be a little careful here. That explosion is going to happen. Another air attack.
Oh, okay.
That is really frustrating.
He's getting tagged a little bit, but he's okay. Should be one more charge R2 away.
Looks like Pup is going to be doing the 10 sheep, by the way, with Lightning Ram. Has killed quite a few already here.
This is such a goofy square. How did you even come up with this square?
I don't know. Like, so when we first came up with the list, we're trying to come up with just random stuff. And I remember Lightning Ram being kind of a meme when the game first released, and I thought it'd be kind of funny, just I guess lightning ramming rams. It just seemed funny to me. So
it sure is. It absolutely is one of the goofiest squares in the game.
It is very goofy. I agree. Very goofy. We do have Bushy now 8-7.
Yeah, he is pulling ahead with a little bit of a lead, but Pup is going to be responding to that very shortly here with a square of her own. Does she have the FP? She may not have the FP to... No, she doesn't.
Oh!
But you know what? Rams, they don't have a lot of HP, so as long as she can just get a couple more hits here... There
she goes. Headbutting them the whole time.
Yeah. No longer getting the lightning bit of that damage. But does claim the square, putting some more threats on row 3.
I think we see BBK now from Bushy. He's reported to Third Church America. He's going to be taking the teleporter to Clergyman here, straight into BBK. And right here, I do believe that Pup might be going for BBK as well, or goes for a bow. BBK. We're having a BBK race. Here it is.
That Blackblade Kindred is going to be pretty difficult for both players to defeat here, because neither one of them has a super upgraded weapon. I think Puppery has a +6. Bushy may as well, but neither one of them has a particularly big health pool. Potentially, probably not in one-shot range for most attacks here, but there could be a couple that could do a lot of damage here.
Definitely very interesting. Bushy a little bit of a head start here. Grace. Also, Bushy has Godric's Great Rune. If he has a Rune Arc, that could really, really help in this case.
Honestly, like with the way his HP, his health bar is, that could be the difference between getting one shot and not.
God, I do. Yeah, this is where Leaf on a Stick is just crumbling and falling apart, and this is where probably
that damage is not great.
Pup is going to catch up here.
Pup does have that Commander's Standard and the stats to use it.
You do see the damage right now on that BBK, by the way. That is the same amount of damage that Zoodle did on 1R1 with that Colossal Staff, by the way.
That strike damage goes a long way.
This will be something else.
I love to see a good old-fashioned Blackblade Kindred race here. Although, I mean, I'm looking at Puppery's damage. It seems like
it's not too much better.
It's a little better, but she also has... I don't know if she has the HP to be able to really afford to make mistakes here.
Bushy does get hit here, but does have enough health, luckily, to take that hit. Yeah, I think Pup, if she gets hit by anything here, she does die.
Attack. She does dodge it, though.
She is currently ahead when it comes to the health pool here. If either of them dies, this is pretty much a lock-in for the other player. Oh, I hate this attack. Yep, there it goes. That is a kill on Pup now. Now, Bushy back in the lead on this health pool on the BBK fight. If he just plays it smart, he could actually get this square from her, and that would be a huge bingo potential on column 2.
Yeah, the column 2 would be a big threat at that point. However, I don't know if he has the resources to secure it, because Godskin Noble, Puppery has a lot more progress towards that Godskin Noble, and Puppery also has a weapon that can better deal with Godskin Noble, whereas Bushy is still rocking the Leaf on a Stick. He's going to have to find something new if he wants to take out the Godskin Noble.
However, for Bushy, the best case scenario here is that he gets BBK, and even if he doesn't get Godskin Noble, he takes away that bingo from Pup, which is row 3.
Yeah, getting rid of that row 3 is definitely a big deal for him.
This damage is absolutely terrible. It's like a third of the damage.
Oh, Puppery getting one shot just by a regular sword slash. I think the lack of armor is really starting to become a problem.
Yep. She does have armor. She just took it off, I am assuming, for light rolling instead of having the resistance. Which I think in this case, honestly, I would opt for medium rolls and just have maybe a chance to survive a hit.
I'm curious, though, because Bushy could also very well still go down on this fight. Yep. Heals are dwindling for sure, and he's still got over half the fight remaining.
I don't think he's got a single stagger this whole time.
No. Oh, the damage is so bad. You know it's bad when he swings and you don't get the little yellow bar.
You know the damage is bad when the other player dies twice and they're still catching up.
Yeah.
That's
going down for the third time. Oh my god.
Oh, nice roll by Bushy here. Oh, very nice roll.
There's a stagger.
There it is.
Bushy's
yellow
making
damage.
good progress.
There is some yellow damage. Thanks, 1.10.
Yeah. We're going to have to wonder, is Puppery going to full commit to this? Because even at this stage, I think if Puppery full commits, there's a chance.
I don't know.
She could beat Bushy to Blackblade Kindred.
The longer this goes on, the less it looks like it. Looks like he does have the moveset memorized here from BBK, which is always like a really, really good thing. It isn't too complex of a moveset anyways, and if you're really familiar with gargoyles, Valiant Gargoyles in that case, this fight isn't too bad. It's just that it hits hard and there's a lot of health.
And thankfully, this isn't like the one in Mountaintops where it has that instant scream attack.
Yeah.
So this one, it doesn't have like the most fun moves to deal with, but most of them are pretty consistent to dodge.
Very nice roll here from Bushy. Pup does sadly die again here. Bushy does get hit here. Careful. That one.
Running low on heals.
What would you call that? It's like the one where it sticks the axe into the ground and starts running at you. What would you call that?
I would call that the
marching forward. I don't know.
The Monka Giga Axe Drag Charge.
Yes, it is. I think that was in the spoiler log when people looked up Elden Ring for the first time in the files.
I've done a lot of looking at the regulation files, and I can confirm that is what it's actually called. Well, so Puppery has decided to pivot off of the Blackblade Kindred, which I think, if she realizes that she doesn't have the fight, down enough to do it confidently, or maybe it's a mental thing. I do think it's not a bad play to go ahead and pivot off and look for something that she feels more confident with. Unfortunately, that does mean she's going to be giving up that row 3, though.
There it is. Oh, nice roll from Bushy.
Giga Drag Charge.
That attack is so hard to kind of tell where that hitbox is sometimes. I've gotten killed by that move more than anything else when it came to gargoyles. That move is terrifying. I hate that.
Yeah,
I'd rather have
the timing
this move.
on the dodge is very difficult for sure. And
Yep.
it's also a positional dodge too, where if you're to just roll straight into it or roll straight back, it's still hitting you 100%.
Yep. Looks like
Puppery's picking up armor. Okay, I think this is a really good play from Puppery.
That's definitely not a bad move. Stagger here, though, from Bushy. It might be too late if she does try to pivot back. Two charged R2s should do it. That is a jumping R2. One more attack here. And by one, I mean 3 with this leaf on a stick.
As long as he can maintain his composure for this last little bit of the fight, not get greedy, not get tagged by anything, I think he can secure this. And he does. Very nice, very nice.
So now we're looking at a good little column 2 here. Bingo. Godskin Noble on the board. Did you see that? +8 Banished Knight's Halberd. You can easily use that for Godskin Noble in this case. That is really, really massive. That could be the weapon that would decide Godskin Noble for Bushy here. He has to go to Godskin Noble. He has a parry shield.
That's like a huge... that could save his ability to secure this bingo.
He could easily pivot right now. I don't know where he's going. Wet Blades?
That is a strange. I don't know if Wet Blades is an interesting decision, but you know, he doesn't have Volcano Manor yet, so he may just decide that something else is worth more of his time.
And here we go. Pup making her way to Noble now. Going to try and do the parry again. Has that Pillory Shield in her left hand. Dragon Helmet on the right. Not going to use the Ash of War, obviously, so she doesn't do a Frost proc on him. But this is going to be a bit of an interesting fight because she has a lot of health when it comes to flasks. Her health bar overall isn't too bad. But, oh, there is the Stormhawk pickup now for Bushy as an axe pickup in Stormvale.
And you know what? He has the information that Puppery already has Volcano Manor because of that Taking Rai's hand. So I imagine he's just decided that it's not in his best interest to try and contest that when he knows that she has the advantage there.
Yep, I'd just go ahead and quit out here. Somber 2, very nice. He has money now from that BBK as well. Might as well go spend it, upgrade the Stormhawk to +4, go for Godskin Noble. Pop has got to be careful here. All the bingos are blocked.
For some of these parries, but getting punished.
Bushy has forced her into majority with that BBK square.
Puppery's in a really awkward position with her stats because she can't actually one-hand the Dragon Halberd in this situation. So she either has to choose between two-handing it or going for parries.
Oh, God. I'd rather just... I would go for parries just because, honestly, I've invested so much time into Noble and learning how to parry this damn boss. But for a lot of players... I don't know if it's worth it. I'd rather just two-hand, have the extra bonus damage from two-handing, you know, go for some light jumping R2 punishes instead. Yeah,
the jump attacks, they do go a long way on this fight. Looks like, oh my god, the Noble managed to slip around the pillar there. Thankfully, it decided to stop rolling after the hit came out.
Yeah, sometimes they do that, sometimes they don't. It's so weird. Nice parry. Nice parry.
That is, if you miss that parry, you just die. So, like, that's a scary one to go for.
That's definitely parryable. Gotta be careful.
Oh, no!
And the Noble presence here. This is getting a little dangerous. This is getting very dangerous. She has to get this square. Otherwise, it looks like Bushy is making his way towards Godskin Noble now.
He's got the Ryo Lucaria. He's making his way up the elevator. He's like this slow-moving force that he will get there soon. So Puppery has got to clutch this out. It's like
that spoon killer.
Absolutely.
Or was what was that video again? It was like a inefficient weapon something. I don't know. I forgot.
That is what it's called. Yes, absolutely.
It's a very old video. It's whatever. That's for the OG back in the day internet people. Don't choke on your
back in my day. It's water actually.
Yeah. It's a good old bean water.
Yes, sir.
Nice little parry here from Pup.
Puppery's got to maintain her composure.
Let me pull up her audio here real quick. Just a little bit for the background.
No, these
Never
combos
mind.
are just...
I'm sorry. Let me pull up Bushy's audio real quick.
Noble is just so unbelievably punishing if you happen to miss those parries.
Because I don't want chat to go spoil.
Okay. What's going on, Bushy? What are you thinking?
Bushy is not committing to Noble here.
How are you feeling, Bushy? Tell us about your day.
What's going on in that brain of yours, Bushy?
Do you like lasagna? He's nodding.
Yes, he does like lasagna. He does.
Bushy, how do you feel about climate change?
Seems a little stressed about it.
Fuck.
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel about it too.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well.
And speaking of climate change, if you look in this, if you look in Bushy's game, actually the climate has changed to one of golden leaves raining from the sky, which does give him a 20% bonus to any souls he receives while he's in this area. What a climate. What a climate. It's 5%. It's not 20%. It is 5. Yes. It's actually, wow, that's... But 5%, as we all know, could make all the difference.
Could, 100%. But I think in this case, he is going for Crucible Knight, Misbegotten
5%.
Warrior Duo, but also going for Radahn, because there is Restore Radahn's Great Rune. So he's kind of going for both squares here, which I do think is a good play from Bushy. You could possibly force Majority, go for Crucible Knight, Misbegotten Warrior Duo, Radahn, Great Rune, Wet Blades, and Goldfree. He already killed DTS.
Yeah, very true. Seems like Puppery is having a better time on this attempt here of the Noble, who's about to do the big belly flop. Yeah, there it is. Here we go. Good parry. Really good parry there. Let's see if she can clean up the rest of this fight. A pretty, pretty scary time sink for her, honestly.
Yeah, this is definitely a huge time sink for sure. But she has to do it, otherwise she can't go for Majority.
Yeah, right.
That's the tough part.
A little bit of a Noble incident. Oh, there's the Noble Presence. That is one. Noble Presence is it trips so many players up because you have to assume it's always the next attack that's going to come out.
Man. You know, what is so noble about Godskin Noble, by the way? What did he do that is so noble?
He's fat.
Well, there is the square now. 9 for 9. It is tied. But as we see both players on our screen, Bushy does kind of have control over the board right now.
But both players are in a position here to go for Majority, which means that we're going to have a bit of a race to go for the fastest squares possible, I think.
Ooh, dude. This could be really good for Bushy. Kill Radahn, right? Talk to Jaren. No, actually, just kill Radahn, go back to the Grace, then the door unlocks for the Wet Blade in Redmane Castle. You can get the Wet Blade there. He already has the Stormville Wet Blade. And he always has to go to Gatefront for the third Wet Blade, get that square, then do Crucible and Misbegotten Duo, and then activate the Great Rune, and it's GG's.
Yeah, and I don't know if Puppery has a great way to contest that.
She does have, I think, the first Wet Blade. After Red Wolf, she can get the second Wet Blade, and then she would have to go to Stormvale for the third, but does die to Red Wolf. I think the pressure is maybe getting to her.
Feeling the pressure here, yeah. But she's still in a great position to grab the Wet Blade and Raya Lucaria first. It just depends on how quickly Bushy can snag the kill here on Radahn.
Yep. Well, it is Stormhawk Axe, and I think it is a +6, but I'm not sure.
It could make very quick work of him. But this could be very close, actually. You know, obviously Red Wolf is very squishy, so as long as Puppery can pull out the kill here without too many more fiascos happening, I think she could get it first. I do believe she still has to go back for the one in Stormvale, though. Because she only has the Gatefront one right now.
Yep. Nice fight from both of them, though, so far.
Yeah, everything's looking good. Bushy does have a nice advantage with that that bubble.
Yeah.
Where he can just face tank a hit if he really needs to.
Like that one.
And there, he face tanks that one.
Which is also not bad either. There is the Red Wolf fight for Pup, though. Gets that Memory Stone. Can go through the Liurnia Wet Blade and then go straight to Stormvale and grab that Wet Blade. Then she will be able to get that square away from Bushy. That'd at least be something.
Think she'll be able to get that first at this rate.
Yep. Phase 2 here for Bushy. Radahn Space Program activating.
Question is, does Radahn Even if Bushy doesn't end up getting Wet Blades as a result of this, he does set himself nicely for the Great Rune. Unfortunately, he does kind of lock himself out of being able to do the Remembrance Boss bow only unless he wants to try and go for Renala.
I think he already kind of is having that in his mind that he's not going to be able to get that square. Like, he just knows.
Yeah. Whereas Puppery still has access to Godric for that square.
Looks like she is.
This is going to be a close game.
Yep. Looks like she is going for that. Oh, she can go for either now at this point, I guess.
Yeah. And we are kind of coming close to time here. Got about 23 minutes left.
Definitely looking
They're going to have to start making decisions on what their final squares are going to be.
So with already having Stormveil, Wet Blade, and only having to grab the Red Mane Wet Blade here, or the Hot Wet Blade, this might be a race on who gets it first. Oh, no, actually, wait, this is already Pup's last one. Never mind, she gets it. So this would be 10-9 for Pup in this case. But, yeah. Crucible Knight, Misbegotten Duo.
Bushy's not even bothering going for it.
Yep.
And he's going right for the Great Rune.
Is he?
Wait.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is. He is.
Okay.
It's just a very different spot. That's all. It kind of threw me off there too.
Right. Must have not had a closer grace.
Uh-oh.
Getting some cinematic gameplay here, as things build in anticipation.
Yo, Amazon, can you upgrade your servers? Thank you.
So looking at this here, we have Bushy going for Radahn's Great Rune. We have Puppery grabbing the last Wet Blade. It's going to be 10-10.
Bushy actually just pivoted off of the Radahn Great Rune and going for Misbegotten instead.
Huh.
And looks like Pup is going now to the round table for the first time.
I actually think that's a really great play from Bushy, because if he's thinking about what does Puppery have access to, Crucible Knight Misbegotten Duo is one that Puppery could have closer access to.
I think we should check Pup's hair, by the way. She is sniffing it, maybe giving her some extra energy boost to...
potentially some performance-enhancing hair product.
To get you into the last-minute fight of Endgame here.
As a person with long hair, I can confirm I do occasionally like to put a little bit of like smelling salts in my hair, and it will just perk me right up for these tense moments.
Get you back in the zone.
Absolutely. And that Stormhawk Axe is making very, very quick work here of the Misbegotten Warrior.
I think it's a +5, right? +5, +6?
Whatever it is, the Misbegotten Warrior stood no chance. He just got absolutely slapped around. He's done. Dunzo.
Very nice. Very nice.
Looks like he's going for parries on the Crucible Knight. Not having a whole lot of success with that. And getting caught in the menu there as well. Let's see if he can turn this back around.
Oh, he's fat rolling. That's why.
Okay. And he's getting poked in the face. This Misbegotten, or this Crucible Knight is
something.
Not being very kind.
Definitely something.
What do we have Pup going for here? It looks like she might be making her way over towards Redmane Castle as well. But the thing is, she won't have access to Misbegotten and Crucible Knight Duo until after defeating Radahn.
Yep, this is looking a little bit of time sink again.
I mean, if I'm Puppery here, I feel like the best play is to try and figure out a way to go for that Remembrance Boss bow only.
Yep.
And then follow that up with going for gold free. But if she takes down Radahn, she potentially opens up the path to Crucible Knight and Misbegotten Warrior Duo, and that gets her towards gold free anyways.
I mean, she has to do 2 Remembrance Bosses anyway. She hasn't done a single one yet, so she has to do Radahn anyways, or Renala in this case.
So she's at quite a disadvantage going into lane del for sure.
We've seen this time and time again, man. It comes to late game, and the last thing that people have is lane del access. Lane del capital
what we're
access.
learning is that people are really undervaluing just picking up a great rune. Just picking up great runes.
Yep.
Because, like, I mean, in addition to giving you access to lane del if there are squares on the board, it also just gives you runes. It gives you stuff to spend. It lets you get more stats. It lets you get more HP, means you're going to die less. Ends up, I mean, especially in this match with Puppery where she was running into some HP issues, I think that could have potentially saved her a lot of time.
And here she is now in Redmane Castle as well, going to be going for Radahn.
I almost wonder if Renala would have been a faster boss for her to go for because she already had the Red Wolf.
Yeah, probably.
Grace going.
Probably. I think she's thinking about duo, that's why.
Most likely wanted to leave that option open for herself, yeah.
Yep, 10 for 10 now, currently tied yet again, 1:42 on the clock. These are two very long games today.
Yeah, going all the way to 2 hours. For Bushy, in order to secure the dub here, he is going to restore Radahn's Great Rune and then probably immediately go over to Lanedel.
That's what I would do.
Killing Goldfree and then trying to restore Morgoth's Great Rune before time. I don't know if I don't think he's going to have time to do all of that.
He's going to be no, I mean he should be able to do Goldfree 100%.
For Goldfree at least, yeah. For Puppery,
he's going to be 2 squares in. This is pretty much a win for Bushy.
Puppery's got to invest time in that Remembrance Boss bow only.
It doesn't matter. Even then, she is only at 11 squares. She would still have to have capital access, and she doesn't have that on either of those squares. She would have to go for Moog.
Yeah. At this point, I think the best that Puppery can go for is a tie if Bushy is unable to secure 12 squares before time is up.
Yeah. If Bushy can't make it to Goldfree within 15 minutes, pretty much, then it's a tie. If she gets the bow only, that is.
Right, yeah. But it doesn't look like she has any intention of going for that. She may not remember that she has access to a bow.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
This is just so tense. It's I'm speechless.
I mean, I think I brought this up in the beginning of the season that players need to realize more and more that Altus access is important, and I think they are starting to realize that more and more that Altus access is important. But now it's also like get access to Lanedel Capital. It doesn't end at Altus. That's just like mid game-ish. You still have to consider really late game squares that have been rearing their heads more and more into late game that you have to just be prepared for, and just rely on the fact that the game maybe it doesn't go that long.
Yeah, Lanedel has been showing up a surprising amount in these matches.
Definitely tough. But yeah, this will be the square then for Bushy, having Radahn's Great Rune. And then yeah, he'll get Goldfree on top of that, and that's pretty much it.
As long as he can maintain the clean gameplay here, he probably has this secured. He's already got the DTS Grace.
Yep.
Which means that getting to Goldfree is going to be no problem.
Yep. Yeah, that. If it came down to Pup not dying to Blackblade Kindred, I think this would be a very, very different game. Even a game where actually Pup would have bingoed, because in this case, Bushy would have had to do bow only on Radahn or Renala, and she had all the time in the world to pretty much get that square. Her pivoting off of that and going for an armor set and then not going for BBK afterwards, I think really cost her the whole match.
Now, Dom, we have to consider the option of going for Moog bow only. Mm-hmm. Okay? Moog bow only brings Puppery back into this. She gets some rot arrows. She gets some bleed arrows. I'm telling you, there is definitely a chance here.
Black bow.
She gets the black bow. Hold on.
Okay. I'm listening.
Pause your champs. Hold on.
I'm listening. She is going to first step.
Talking to RA.
Is she actually doing this? Oh, no, she's checking the merchant.
She's going to the merchant. She's looking for arrows.
That probably was like a hype 3 seconds, and then...
Well, But she's probably looking for rot arrows. All right? Rot arrows. Then she goes to Moog. Except she pivoted off of that. She's talking to Kale. What's Kale got? Kale
More
has arrows. Okay. Well, I mean, she can get to 11. She can get to 11 squares. Realistically, she's not getting to Moog and also killing him with a bow in the next 12 and a half minutes.
Yeah. Be very, very tight for sure.
Unless. Look, I've said it before, I'll say it again. In the bingus, sometimes it bonguses, and you never know. Never say never, Dom. Never say never.
But you just said it twice.
It was an example.
Okay, got it. Understandable.
Well, because I said it twice, like 2 nevers make an always.
Right.
And
right.
3 always makes a never.
3?
Yes.
So always go for Moog.
No. That's bad. You can't fool me with math.
You know. That's all I got. Where is she? I think she's going for Godric. I think she just might be lost.
Godric feels like a desperation play. It feels like I'm out of options. This is what I have to do.
Yep.
And it's a tough spot to be in. But maybe there's a chance Bushy chokes here on Goldfree and they end 11-11. It could happen.
I mean, you can get Goldfree here. He can go straight into Morgott. Morgott's Great Rune. That's 13.
Yeah, it sure is.
So compared to last match where neither player could get a square anymore, this one he could still get 13 squares. And so we're going to let that play out too, I think.
Right, yeah. I mean, it's also possible that Goldfree just completely eats his breakfast and he gets stuck. Sometimes players just get hard stuck.
It's a tough day in the lands between.
It is. And all of these matches have been so tense and so close and hard fought to the end.
There we go. Godric bow only. This should be pretty quick though.
Yeah, with her stats and upgrading that bow before the fight.
She's definitely using the Ash of War here though, not normal arrows. Should be barraging. Barraging is really, really good on the black bow. And if you are going to be doing normal arrow shots, always do jump shots. Always do jump shots.
Why is that,
Dom? Perfectly right there. Faster animation.
Okay.
Also, you can technically do a jump shot into a normal arrow shot, so you can get 2 arrows off by the time you get 1 off.
Yeah. And Bushy got a hitless Goldfree, actually, not choking. He does, in fact, know the Heimlich maneuver, and so choking was not a danger for him on that fight.
Can someone Heimlich themselves? Is that a thing?
Yes, absolutely.
It just sounds kind of weird, I guess.
Mm-hmm. It does. But yeah.
Okay.
You can do it with a chair.
What is this, WWE? just suplex.
You just give the diaphragm the chair.
Ah, yeah.
The steel chair over the diaphragm.
Classic.
Goldfree pops right out.
Hello.
No more choke.
There is the barrage.
Puppery is making good work on Godric the Grafted here.
So yeah, Pup will definitely still get this square. So this will definitely be ending 12 to 11, if not 13 to 11. Still a great match.
Absolutely, yeah.
Still a great match.
I mean, I don't know what Puppery's Grace situation looks like in Altus Plateau. After this, I suppose she could try and beat Bushy to Morgott and that Morgott's Great Rune, but it's a long shot for sure.
It's crazy that these arrow shots are pretty much outperformed by a longbow +3 with a mighty shot.
Wow. Yeah.
Mighty shot is so good.
Yeah, it does good poise, good damage, good everything.
There is the bow only for Pup. GG's to her.
Nicely done, Pup. Good clean fight there on Godric.
I think Bushy has enough time to actually get Morgott's Great Rune if he doesn't die.
He's getting the cartwheel attack. He is punishing the helicopter. Let's go. Love to see it.
Very nice.
They're, some runners they opt just to wait for the spear into the hop, and I always like to see people letting Morgott use his full moveset. I think it's a lot more fun.
Yeah.
Morgott, he's my favorite boss. He really is. I'm happy we've gotten to see him multiple times in bingo this weekend.
We've definitely seen him way more than I've expected. In season 1, I think we saw him once.
And I think I was the only person to fight him in season 1.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very interesting how literally just changing up the format a little bit completely changes how bingo as a whole works.
I also think it goes to show you how much more efficient the players have gotten too.
Yeah.
Because the fact that they are able to get to late game like this, shows how much quicker they're completing squares.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Puppery's now in Liurnia. I wonder what she's up to.
6 minutes? He could easily get Morgott's Great Rune here, I think. 6 minutes is a lot of time.
It is, yeah. There's a lot of running here in Lanedale. You gotta like wait on an elevator, then you gotta fight another boss. So it could be close. But, this is the difference between a match going to time or a match ending with a majority victory. So there's definitely something, some value in seeing how Bushy can close out this match. Oh, Puppery is actually talking to Vare, making as much progress as she can towards Moog with the time she has left. Very slim chances she actually makes it there and can fight him, but I absolutely respect that she is doing what she can to get there.
I think she's actually fighting BBK now for practice.
Oh. Well, I mean, getting revenge on the BBK after what she experienced earlier in the match, who can blame her?
Yeah. No, I agree.
This BBK was very unkind to Pup.
I think she got like that Monka W. What'd you call it again?
The Monka Giga Drag Charge attack.
Right.
Yeah.
I think she had that twice.
Yeah, and that is like twice the Monka Giga. Like, how do you handle that?
You don't. You just be.
Here it is. Oh my! And it clobbered. Absolutely clobbered. Hit like a truck. There's nothing you can do.
It's really hard to dodge. I really don't know how to dodge that either. That's the one move that just is so hard to deal with.
Yep. The dodge timing is hard, the positioning is hard, and then, you know, on top of all that, you got a weird follow-up afterwards as well.
Yep.
I don't like. I do not like this boss. I don't like Gargs in general.
Not that bad.
They're just weird, and like they got weird collision and weird hurt boxes and weird hit boxes, and they're just weird.
They're very predictable.
Is that rude of me to say? Are people gonna feel bad for Gargs if I call them weird and say I don't like them because they're weird? Is that toxic?
No, I don't think so.
Cool.
I support you, Josh.
Thanks, Dom. I appreciate it.
Hey, no problem.
Yeah. And you know what? You're weird, but I do like you. So.
Why would you say that?
In a good way. You're a good kind of weird.
Okay.
Right? You're like.
Wait, what makes me weird? Because my long toe, is that the thing that makes me weird?
Yes. Absolutely.
All right.
That's exactly what I'm talking about.
It's the only reason. Sedge.
Yeah, that's right. It's absolutely right. That's the only reason.
The one and only.
Mm-hmm.
Were you the cool kid in school, Josh?
Yes. I was.
I could see it.
I had a lot of friends.
That's cool.
Yeah, I mean, just like me. How's this Feltwin fight going?
Not too bad. Pretty quickly, actually. Because the Ash of War is obviously busted on Stormhawk.
Yeah, it's really good. And they, wow. He can't attack. This is bullying.
Pretty much can do that just again, and then he's already dead. So.
Yep. Not that I would know what bullying is like. I was way too cool to experience anything like that.
Of course.
Mm-hmm. But I'm also like nice, so I didn't do any bullying.
$11 to 12. 12 to 11.
Dom, and I gotta say that tie looks real snappy. You're looking real sharp today, Dom.
Thank you. Looks like I just went to church.
Yeah, that tie really brings out your eyes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Even though I don't even have blue eyes. That's the weird part.
It's the contrast that makes it makes it work.
It's the weird thing of my eyes
elevator.
are like they're green, blue, gray. So whatever I wear, that's what the color brings out, pretty much.
Oh, very nice.
It's kind of cool. So when I wear a green T-shirt, my eyes are green.
I'm not gonna lie to you, Dom. I don't think Bushy is making it to this great rune in the next 15 seconds.
Yeah, it was close. I definitely wanted to give him the benefit of the doubt. It is really close though. Like he's at the top right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was very, very close. He was
literal seconds away. Look at this.
Yeah.
And that's time.
That is time. GG's to Bushy.
Is officially Jover. 12 to 11. What a match. Extremely close.
Very, very close. Very interesting.
If Puppery gets that Blackblade Kindred, I think the whole match goes to her probably.
Yeah, I agree.
What a match. Well, what do you say we get our competitors in here? Have a little chat.
Oh, we just gotta check to see if they're down for an interview. I'm assuming they both are, but...
Oh, right, of course. It's good.
Let me bring in Bushy. Yo, welcome in, Bushy. GG's, good sir.
Yeah, thank you.
GG, Bushy. That was incredible.
Thank you.
That was one heck of a 2-hour match. How do you feel overall about the match?
I feel really good. That was a biggest mistake at least without reviewing that I can see. I didn't identify row 3 early enough. But I'm very happy with everything else I did.
Yeah, I think overall, like you had some really good plays. We were talking about the synergistic combos of squares that you were pulling off that really worked out. You know, the Limgrave bosses with Tree in the name, and then also Knights Cavalry having all of those 3 squares kind of work together. I think really helped out a lot for your momentum. But man, that leaf on a stick, dude. That was something.
Yeah. What did Pup find?
Pup had the Dragon Halberd.
Oh my god. Where, dude?
It was the Breach Merchant in Limgrave. Yeah.
Fair enough. Each merchant always has some.
Beach Merchant always has something. That is true. I've definitely found some really good weapons there.
He's got the goods.
When it came to the early game, obviously row 2 I think was completely obvious for both players. You know, seeing how strong Godric's Great Rune, Nefeli Lu, and Dupe of Remembrance, like how powerful that is. After getting all 3 squares, I was a little bit surprising for you not rushing Sacred Flasks. I'm assuming you assumed that Papa was really kind of going for that block, so you just started going for something different.
So at that point, she had claimed Agil +0 as well as the Torrent boss.
Yes. Yep.
And that Spirit Ash +4 summon shut down that diagonal. It shut down row 4, and it built towards column 2, which I just rated that as really important. And I already had lots of development for it. So I just rushed for that.
Gotcha. That's super fair. When it came to like the mid to late game, obviously BBK was out there for a little while, and as soon as Pup had row 3 pretty active and only had BBK and Bo only left, were you kind of dreading that fight? Did you feel comfortable with that fight at all?
God, no. I've never practiced that fight, and so a bit surprised how well it went, but happy that it went that way.
Yeah, the health pool definitely helped a lot. That's for sure.
Yeah,
definitely, that's for sure. Let me bring in Pupri as well. She said she's ready, and we'll talk about the board overall. Pup, welcome in. GG's.
Yo, GG.
Well played, Pup.
Yeah, that was a very close game. GG, Pup.
Yeah, it was very close. GG, Bushi. You played really well.
Thank you.
There were obviously some sad deaths on your side there when it came to BBK and some other fights. Was that just nerves for you, or was that maybe just I don't know, practicing other bosses more than BBK?
I mean, I've practiced. I would say I'm pretty good BBK usually. But I mean, with the vigor and the nerves, it was just hard. And
yeah.
I've done it that way before, but yeah, I mean, I have really bad problems with nerves, unfortunately. But in the end, that's just an excuse. I just have to practice it more. So.
No, I definitely get that. Especially in competitive, in any competitive sport or game, nerves always get to me as well. So I completely get that. When it came to like the early game and seeing, Bushi getting row 3 very active, like what was your thought process when that happened?
Row 3.
Oh, row 2. Sorry, row 2.
Row 2. Yeah, row 2. So basically, I wasn't really worried about it. Just because I directly switched to the Agil and Torrent, and then right after I got Dectus, and I was like, you know what? This is basically a Dectus board, Altus board. So I really wasn't worried about it. I was like, I'm just gonna block that with 10 fast charges. It's gonna help me the rest of the game anyway. So I was almost excited that he pushed me into getting 10 flasks right away.
Yeah.
It's like the best thing that you can be pushed into having to block with. And then I just was able to pick and choose and Altus a little bit. But I think I made some mistakes with picking what to go for. And I don't know. I think the being an Altus early was good. But yeah, it would have been better if I didn't make as many mistakes.
Yeah,
it was an insanely close match overall. Like, you and Bushi were on Blackblood Kindred at the same time, and I think that could have gone either way, and made a huge difference for sure.
Yeah, I mean that was the whole game. That square was actually the only one that mattered.
Which happens surprisingly often with Blackblade Kindred, I'm noticing.
Yeah. And it's such a mean one too. I don't know, but yeah, GG on getting that. That was a really important square.
Yeah, we're definitely talking about how even though Bushy had 3 squares in row 2 and that you going for Sacred Flasks was a bit of a forced block in that case, that it was still like insanely beneficial for you because it gives you a lot of map presence. It preps you for, you know, later fights like BBK in this case where you have a lot of healing in your pocket, and just like progresses other squares as well. So you get a lot of access on top of that. So overall, it was like a very, very good block to go for Sacred Flasks rather than going for duo in that case. So that was really cool to see. But yeah, it was just a really solid fight from both of you.